Look, I know that Will Vest had his struggles earlier on in the season, but he'll get to work it out at some point. And the Tigers lost their six-game winning streak as they lost to the Red Sox 1-0 in 10 innings on a walk-off hit by Masataka Yoshida. Both starting pitchers, Ranger Suarez or Ranger Suarez for the Red Sox, looked great. Especially against a Tigers team, that was very struggling to hit against left-handed pitchers. Ranger Suarez was one of them. Tigers offense couldn't even get it done. Um, and for Casey Mize for the Tigers, his stuff is excellent. His stuff is excellent. Going back to that series, going back to his outing against the Twins, where he didn't pitch all that good. The one against St. Louis, and I think the one against the Marlins, and the one last night against the Red Sox. He looked really great. Casey Mize's stuff is excellent. As you guys can clearly see it, his fastball, really pitching it well. Mixed in with other speeds of his like his premium previous his opposite pitches, but his fastball was really the key point of this game. The Red Sox series couldn't even get to it at all. When we got into the in the late innings, when they got Aroldis Chapman in for the Red Sox, I really thought, the Tigers were going to turn things around. When Jemai Jones hit that double, I thought, okay, maybe something was cooking here. But no, the Tigers couldn't even get it done. They couldn't even get it done all night. Both pitchers were really great. It was a pitching duo throughout the night. Casey Mize for the Tigers, Ranger Suarez for the Red Sox. The Red Sox were sporting their Fenway Greens uniforms as of last night. And, we got Scooble on the mound this afternoon for the Tigers at 4 o'clock. And we'll see what happens there. You know, when we get into the extra innings, in the extra innings, in the 10th inning, with that automatic runner over at second base, it was Dylan Dingler in the 10th. I really thought it was going to be something cooking, when Riley Green hit that fly ball on the right, moved Dingler over to third. And as for the rest, they just couldn't even get it done. And Juanso Perez, the dude is an automatic out. It's really hard to improve when you got that one guy on the team, just really wants to step up, and be that corner position in the outfield. Juanso Perez is not it. He's got to try. And as for Will Vest coming into probably save the game, maybe, he has his struggles. Early in the season, but, because of that wild pitch, and How Yu Lee made his major league debut. He struggled, with that throwing error that he did. Really hindered him. When he almost hit his first big league hit, I thought it was a home run or maybe a double. But yeah, they got robbed. So How Yu Lee, he continues to, he's got to improve. Zach McKinstry got placed on the injured list with a left hip, abdomen inflammation. So really bad news for ZMAC, but one of Scott Harris's prospects got called up, How Yu Lee. I'm still waiting on Max Clark call up. Call up. But yeah, it is what it is. Tigers lost 1-0 against the Red Sox in 10 innings. Lost their 6-game winning streak. Let's go over the game. Pinch hitter Masataka Yoshida singled over a drawn-in 5-man infield, scoring Jarren Duran from third base with 1 out in the 10th, as the Red Sox beat the Tigers 1-0 on Friday night, snapping the Tigers' 6-game winning streak. The game featured scoreless starts by Boston's Ranger Suarez and Detroit's Casey Mize, and each team with just 4 hits. The Red Sox, in sporting their Fenway Greens uniforms for the first time this season, improved to 7-5, all walk-off wins, in the green jerseys that debuted in the 2025. Isn't that the most bizarre thing? Like when the Red Sox started wearing their Fenway green jerseys, it was all in walk-offs. They're 7-5 now, dating back to 2025. Isn't that bizarre? But anyway, Duran, the automatic runner, advanced to third on a wild pitch by Will Vest before Yoshida bounced a grounder over first baseman Spencer Torkelson. Suarez worked 8, giving up 2 singles in the first, and had 4 strikeouts and a walk. Garrett Whitlock pitched to 10th for the victory. Mize struck out 7 and allowed 3 hits and a walk over 6 and 2/3 innings. Boston's Aroldis Chapman struck out Dylan Dingler, swinging with a 101.3 mile an hour pitch to end the ninth. Coming off his first victory with the Red Sox in his previous start when he went 6 scoreless innings against St. Louis on Saturday, Suarez relied on mostly a sharp curve, changeup, and well-spotted fastball to keep the Tigers off balance. Yeah. Fresh start for a 6-0 homestand that included 3 straight walk-off victories against Kansas City. The Tigers had 2 consecutive hits in the first inning. The second, a double overturned after review when Jahmai Jones was tagged out, sliding into the bag. Then Suarez retired 22 of the 23 next 23 batters, allowing only a walk. Mize's only hit allowed through the first 5 innings was a 2-out ground rule double by Connor Wong into the center field triangle. Tigers ace Tarek Skubal faces Boston Brian Bello this afternoon today. Really not much anything to say about it. You know, both pitchers, pitching duo. Will Vest had his early struggles, gave up that game-winning run. Masataka Yoshida of the Red Sox and a pinch hit RBI single to win the game. And yeah, we'll see where we go from here. But that's going to be about it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you turn on that bell for all notifications so you guys know whenever I upload a video, it just pops up. If you guys want to go check out my playlist recovering the 2026 Detroit Tigers season, that playlist is also on my YouTube channel. Make sure to go check it out. And yep, I'll be back on here tomorrow to review the game today between the Tigers and the Red Sox. Tarek Skubal will be on the mound. Hopefully we win to snap out of this losing game that we had last night. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it and have a good Saturday.